multiple credit cards. Hey everybody, Abram the Realtor here with another video for you. Now, this is common with a lot of people because they hear about stories about mismanaging their credit or that they need to use one card to pay off another and things like that. Now, in essence, having multiple credit cards can be a good thing depending on the circumstance as well as the priority. Now, I'm going to talk about the good, I'm going to talk about the bad, and I'm going to talk about how to pick the right card. Now, keep in mind, everyone's credit history and their usage and things like that is different. So these are just general suggestions and ideas. Despite that, take a couple of notes or leave me a comment below and how I can help you build your credit and help get you into that home of yours with a great credit score. So ready? Let's begin. So let's talk about the good. The benefits of having more than one credit card is you increase your available credit, i.e., the lower the ratio that you owe in terms of your debt, the better it will improve your credit score. Right now, the banks are looking at not just how much you owe, your credit history, as well as your payment history. So if you owe a lot less, your opportunity to have better scores go up. So that's one benefit. The second is maximizing your rewards. Now in the credit card era we're in now, a lot of companies and credit card companies in particular are giving you incentives to use their cards. Like for example, 2% off gas, 5% cash back, 1% down on groceries, things like that. Some cases it's not even money back. It could be points, could be miles, which was kind of what I got started in back when I was a young man, building my credit history. So, and it's still possible to this day. And the third one, which is gonna be a benefit, is taking advantage of the perks. You know, maybe you'll get an extra incentive, you'll get some extra points or things like that. Now, perks differ per card. So this is where I'm gonna ask everyone, do your homework, do your research, because it's gonna lead into the next one, which is unfortunately the bad about having multiple credit cards. And the biggest one that I wanna talk about is your temptation to overspend goes up. Even though you're doing your best, the temptation to have another credit card and invest in things you may or may not need to benefit at this moment goes up. Even having one credit card for some people is tempting, but if you have 3 to 4 or 5, the chances go up. So that's something to factor in. The second one is if you're very disciplined in your spending habits, organizing when and where to invest your card and make your payments and making sure that they're on time is a challenge. Having 2 credit cards can be different because one could be from one different type of bank and another, as well as your balance. Let's say, for example, I have a credit card, Bank of America. I have a $6,000 limit. I have a card with Wells Fargo. I only have 3. How do I know which one I'm using? How about the perks? How about the benefits? What if, for example, the Wells Fargo card, I have to make a payment Friday, but the Bank of America, I don't have to make it till next Wednesday. And yet, I don't know which date is which. Plus, what card did I use? Which is another thing people don't want to factor in. And which card is linked to any of my online accounts that I used to shop with. So that's something else you want to factor in. And the third one, which is unfortunately another downside, is the annual fees. Now, every credit card has them. And again, like I spoke of, every bank is different. Depending on your credit history, which I'll get into, and picking the right card, that also factors in. For some, you might have to pay a little bit more if you don't use it. Some you may have to pay less because of how long you've had it. Remember, every bank is different. And some banks, in essence, so I don't want to say general because every bank is different, that the usage, meaning if you don't use it after a certain period of time, they will penalize you. So if you're not going to use something this often, this much, or you're very rarely, it can cost you more money than just making a payment or using it in the first place. So that's 3 of the downsides, 3 of the benefits. Let's talk about picking the right card. And the biggest one is, like everything else, you need to have good credit. So the banks want to know that you're being responsible and you have to have good to great credit. Now, that number differs. Again, every bank is different. That's why it's important to talk to and do your homework. But keep in mind that if you get it closer in the 7s, you're more likely to have options. In some cases, the banks are asking you. You don't believe me? Go to your bank to make a payment and have them tell you you're wanting to sign up for a new card, and they'll give you options. So that's one. Second one, going back to personal responsibility and discipline, your spending habits, and understand your money and where you invest it. So if it's a card you very rarely go to a place that you're going to use or one that you're going to go a lot, make certain sure that you are using it as well as being responsible and not being tempted to overspend as well. So again, being responsible, accountable, being honest, and going to the third and major one, and that is personal preference. Ultimately, this is a decision you need to decide as well as people involved in this transaction So if you're co-signing or you're helping a friend or family member or they want to factor in, they have to decide if it's an option that they may or may want to do. So again, as much as there's benefits and risk and downside, ultimately at the end of the day, it's all about your choice. So anyway, guys, I hope this helps out your real estate needs. Call, text, email, and remember, anything else in life, you got to be honest with and do as well.